Much unhappiness has come from things left unsaid. Everybody wants to change the world, but nobody thinks about changing himself. The key to success in life is using the good thoughts of wise people. True life is lived when tiny changes occur. The most important knowledge is that which guides the way. You lead your life. Everything I know because of love. Do not be sad about what you do not have. Instead, be happy about what you do have. If you will be sad about what you don't have, you will not be happy about what you do have. There is no greatness where there is no simplicity, goodness, and truth. Happiness is in your ability to love others. A battle is won by him who is firmly resolved to win it. Money is a new form of slavery and distinguishable from the old simply by the fact that it is impersonal, that there is no human relation between master and slave. I think, if it is true that there are as many minds as there are heads, then there are as many kinds of love as there are hearts. Happiness consists of living each day as if it were the first day of your honeymoon and the last day of your vacation. Better to know a few things which are good and necessary than many things which are useless and mediocre. Happiness is pleasure without regret. Don't seek God in temples. He is close to you. He is within you. Only you should surrender to him, and you will rise above happiness and unhappiness. My piece of bread only belongs to me when I know that everyone else has a share, and that no one starves while I eat. The strongest of all warriors are these two, time and patience. Death is more certain than the morrow, the night following day, than winter following summer. Why is it then that we prepare for the night and for the winter time, but do not prepare for death? We must prepare for death, but there is only one way to prepare for death, and that is to live well. The kingdom of God is within you. So remember, great achievements take time. There is no overnight success. An arrogant person considers himself perfect. This is the chief harm of arrogance. It interferes with a person's main task in life, becoming a better person. And where love ends, hate begins. I believe that order is better than chaos, creation better than destruction. I prefer gentleness to violence, forgiveness to vendetta. On the whole, I think knowledge is preferable to ignorance, and I am sure human sympathy is more valuable than ideology. Life could be limitless joy if we would only take it for what it is in the way it is given to us. Everything comes in time to him who knows how to wait. Pure and complete sorrow is as impossible as pure and complete joy. If you look for perfection, you'll never be content. Very often, all the activity of the human mind is directed not in revealing the truth, but in hiding the truth. Each person's task in life is to become an increasingly better person. The majority of men do not think in order to know the truth, but in order to assure themselves that the life which they lead, and which is agreeable and habitual to them, is the one which coincides with the truth. It is not beauty that endears, It's love that makes us see beauty. Upon meeting, you're judged by your clothes. Upon parting, you're judged by your wits. If goodness has causes, it is not goodness if it has effects. A reward, it is not goodness either, so goodness is outside the chain of cause and effect. We lost because we told ourselves we lost. Seize the moments of happiness, love and be love. That is the only reality in the world. All else is folly. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. If you're not enjoying your work, you should either change your attitude or change your job. When you love someone, you love the person as they are, and not as you'd like them to be. When you say, "I can't do that," you're expressing yourself incorrectly. You should say, "I couldn't do that before." The only purpose of education is freedom. The only method is experience. If you make it a habit not to blame others, you will feel the growth of the ability to love in your soul, and you will see the growth of goodness in your life. Spring is the time of plans and projects. Patience is waiting, not passively waiting, that is laziness, but to keep going when the going is hard and slow, that is patience. The two most powerful warriors are patience and time. What is important is not the quantity of your knowledge, but its quality. You can know many things without knowing the most important. If you want to be happy, try only to please God, not people. We can know only that we know nothing, and that is the highest degree of human wisdom. Real wisdom is not the knowledge of everything, but the knowledge of which things in life are necessary, which are less necessary, and which are completely unnecessary to know. Be bad, but at least don't be a liar, a deceiver. Free thinkers are those who are willing to use their minds without prejudice and without fearing to understand things that clash with their own customs, privileges, or beliefs. This state of mind is not common, but it is essential for right thinking. Many people have ideas on how others should change. Few people have ideas on how they should change. What counts in making a happy marriage is not so much how compatible you are, but how you deal with incompatibility. If people tell you that you should live your life preparing for the future, do not believe them. Real life is found only in the present. Rest, nature, books, music, such is my idea of happiness. Until you do what you believe in, you don't know whether you believe it or not. Effort is not a means to lead us to happiness. Effort itself is happiness. All happy families resemble one another. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. To sin is a human business. To justify sins is a devilish business. Read less, study less, but think more. Men pray to the Almighty to relieve poverty, but poverty comes not from God's laws. It is blasphemy of the worst kind to say that. Poverty comes from man's injustice to his fellow man. The kinder and more intelligent a person is, the more kindness he can find in other people. Kindness enriches our life. With kindness, mysterious things become clear. Difficult things become easy, and dull things become cheerful. Act as if you are, and you will become such. The kinder and the more thoughtful a person is, the more kindness he can find in other people. People involve themselves in countless activities which they consider to be important, but they forget about one activity which is more important and necessary than any other, and which includes all other things, the improvement of their soul. To say that you can love one person all your life is just like saying that one candle will continue burning as long as you live. Happiness does not depend on outward things, but on the way we see them. The more is given, the less the people will work for themselves, and the less they work, the more their poverty will increase. The only absolute knowledge attainable by man is that life is meaningless. The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity. To get rid of an enemy, one must love him. Joy can only be real if people look upon their life as a service and have a definite object in life outside themselves and their personal happiness. By words one transmits thoughts to another. By means of art, one transmits feelings. For if we allow that human life is always guided by reason, we destroy the premise that life is possible at all. Love does not exist. There exists the physical need for intercourse and the rational need for a mate in life. I believe that the reason of life is for each of us simply to grow in love. The struggle with evil by means of violence is the same as an attempt to stop a cloud in order that there may be no rain. Happiness is an allegory, and happiness a story. If everyone fought for their own convictions, there would be no war. Human love serves to love those dear to us, but to love one's enemies we need divine love. All the variety, all the charm, all the beauty of life is made up of light and shadow. All the true heroes of history will be forgotten, and all the villains will be remembered as heroes. All violence consists in some people forcing others, under threat of suffering or death, to do what they do not want to do. The one who is happy, that's the one who is right. One of the first conditions of happiness is that the link between man and nature shall not be broken. I imagine, joking apart, that to know love, one must make mistakes and then correct them. The essence of all slavery consists in taking the product of another's labor by force. Between the murder of an animal and the murder of a man, there's no more than one step. I don't want to prove anything, I merely want to live, to do no one harm but myself. I have the right to do that, haven't I? There is only one way to put an end to evil, and that is to do good for evil. A man's every action is inevitably conditioned by what surrounds him and by his own body. Where there is love, there is God also. It is by those who have suffered that the world has been advanced. I am always with myself, and it is I who am my tormentor. A leader is the wave pushed ahead by the ship. It's all God's will. You can die in your sleep, and God can spare you in battle. War is so unjust and ugly that all who wage it must try to stifle the voice of conscience within themselves. Rivers are places that renew our spirit, connect us with our past, and link us directly with the flow and rhythm of the natural world. My principal sin is doubt. I doubt everything, and am in doubt most of the time. Anything is better than lies and deceit. I believe in one incomprehensible God, the immortality of the soul, and eternal retribution for our acts. What was your favorite quote from Leo Tolstoy that impressed you the most? Please specify in the comment section. To support us and for more content, please subscribe to our channel and like my videos.